What is going on, guys? We're back with a video, and today we are going to be making one of these American flags for pretty cheap, actually. Let's get right into the video and I'll show you guys how to make one. Alright guys, so the first thing you're of course going to need to make your flag is boards. These are just furring strips. They are 1.5 inches wide and I believe they're 3/4 of an inch deep. So these will work good. And they're also good if you don't have a table saw. We have a table saw, but it's kind of harder to make them like that because you got to get the measurements perfect. But these are already cut to 1.5 inches, so that's how big your stripes are going to be. It's just 1.5. So you only need 7 of them because these are 8-foot strips, and you're only going to get a bit more than 6 feet out of the board to use. So you're gonna need 7 of them. I would grab 8 just so you have 2 extra pieces just in case if you mess up on any. So without saying any more, let's get to cutting. All right guys, so the saw I'm gonna be using is just a miter saw. So just a pretty basic miter saw right here. Just to cut down the boards, and this is also good if you don't have a table saw. You don't really need a table saw to cut those. Honestly, you could use just a normal hand saw to cut them if you don't have any tools like this. Use a miter saw. So I think this is going to work the best for this. So I'm going to measure out the sections on my board, 37 inches. So without saying any more, let's get to measuring the boards and then get to cutting. Alright y'all, we got all of our boards out here. All 13 are right here, so I'm going to count them out and lay them out and see how, I don't know, my lines are going to look to see if they're all the same size. There we go. That's how big it's gonna be. I think what I'm gonna do next, I do have to make sure they are all straight real quick. Go to this side. Yeah, I mean, they all look the same size pretty much. And it's fine if they're not all the same size, so you can mix it up a little bit. It does make it look a little bit more rustic. So I think what I have to do next is sand all these down. So let's get Alright guys, all those are now sanded down. My left wrist is in shambles after this thing. Vibrating, putting all that pressure on it. My wrist kind of hurts. That's fine. So we got all of our 13 stripes here. Now they are ready to be stained. So let's get into doing that. I cannot stain the union yet, because I'm getting some stencils from my buddy on Wednesday. Today's Sunday. So I'm not getting the stencils for another few days. So I'm only gonna be able to do the bottom half on red and white, just because where the union is, it's a certain length, which I don't have the length yet. I know it's 19 inches, but I don't wanna be off by any at all. So I'm just gonna stain the bottom half of the flag. So let's get into doing that and put you guys on the time lapse of me staining the bottom half of the flag. And I also forgot to mention the stains that I'm using. I'm using Minwax for all my stains. We got Simply White, Barn Red. They did not have the red that I wanted, which was Scarlet Red, but Barn Red will do just as good as a job. It's just a little bit of a like more browny red, but it's still, I'd still call it a red. And then we got Navy. Navy will not look like this color. This is on oak, on pine, which is what this is. It'll look a lot more blue because I guess it'll just absorb it more and it'll look more blue than that because this is more like a cyan color almost, while it'll look basically like the blue on the American flag. So I'm getting the staining the bottom half, which I believe is from here to there. So let's get the staining and put you guys on the time lapse of me doing that. All right, guys, so I was testing the stain on this and I forgot I have to burn this wood. It'll give it a nice look, more rustic look. So I gotta burn these. I totally forgot to. I don't even know how, because this is like the main thing that I wanted to do. But without the burn, it looks like this. That's after being rubbed. It looks actually pretty good. So I'm gonna get to burning this wood. So I'll put you guys on a time lapse of me burning this wood. Look beautiful. The camera honestly makes them look worse than they are. This one looks phenomenal, honestly. And I did burn the edges a little bit more. You can kind of tell it more on some. Definitely this one you can tell I burned the edges a little bit more. That gives it kind of more of a pop. So we're gonna get to staining these barn red. So let's get to doing that. Alright, we got all of our red stripes all stained. They look really, really good, honestly, in my opinion. So we're gonna move on to the white. So let's get into doing that. Alright, you guys, so while I wait for my sides and my white to dry, we're going to burn our other stripes, which will be where the union is. We got 7 just burned, so let's get into doing that. Alright, y'all, so I did do a little bit of a test with the navy blue stain. This one's burned, this one's not. The camera makes it look a lot darker than it actually is, because I did do this, I did accidentally do pretty heavy with the burn, so I ended up just doing a little bit of a lighter burn on that than what I did, because, and I did relatively where that line would be, because I don't want to stain my white, because it looks really ugly. So this is basically how it would be arranged. That looks honestly not too bad. Let me just show you all. There we go. So this is where the white lines are. Red lines, of course, are burned because it looks phenomenal. So I am gonna stain. I can't stain any of this because of where my blue's gonna be right there. I cannot stain this part yet. So I don't think there's anything else I can do until Wednesday. So I guess I'll see you guys Wednesday once I got the stencil. All right, guys, so I now have my stencil here, and I'll actually show you guys something that I did with the stencil. So out of some spare wood, didn't record any of it, but I made this cross here, the American flag pattern. I do have to touch up some areas with some paint, but it looks kind of cool. I wish this gap wasn't here. That was honestly my bad, so I should have thought about that, but from a distance, it looks pretty good. So we will place this on there, get everything squared up so we can mark our line exactly where it is. So if I place this on here, it lines up with everything. So once I square the stencil up, I need to grab a pencil. All right, so now I got my stencil all lined up where it needs to be. I'm gonna draw a line with a pencil. There. All right, there's that. So that line should be about perfect where the stencil will need to be. But before we can do our stars, we have to stain it. And this is what the stain will look like. And this is one of the reasons why I did the cross, was to test my blue stain. It's a little dark, but I'd say it looks all right. And in person, it's honestly a lot lighter than on camera. So it'll look really nice. So I'll show you how we're gonna divide our union and our red and white lines. So I'll show you guys how I'm gonna do that. All right, so I'll show you guys how I'm gonna do the first one. I only have 3 razor blades, which is what I'm gonna use to do the divide from the union and the red and the white. So I'm just gonna use these razor blades. You can see I've used them once for the cross. You're gonna need a hammer and your line, which is why it's there. So I gotta somehow pick one of these up. I'm wearing gloves because this is my hand. I'm gonna be holding it in, and I don't want to actually put my hand on the blade because that would hurt. So I'll line up our razor blade and hammer it in. I do have to position my hand a little bit differently. I want to get it decently deep into the wood so you have no seepage. I did have a little bit of a seepage problem with my cross. So now I'm going to grab my white stripe. There we go. All right, well, there are all of our razor blade strips. I might go see if I have a couple more real quick because this is gonna take forever to do if I don't have another one. Well, I don't have any more razor blades, so I'm just gonna have to do it a couple times around so that I can get them all. So I'm gonna just use this cardboard box to do my staining on. All right, well, these are the ones that we are going to stain first, so let's get into doing that. So here is what I got stained so far. I just have to do these 2 reds and that white. So that's what we're gonna do for now. So I'll catch you guys once I got more razor blades and I'm back staining. All right guys, so it is now time to put the thing together. Can't really tell them apart from each other. I have not put these together yet because they've just finished drying and they look amazing. So I'm going to take these off of the stain box, and put them on the floor. I just swept the floor, so it should be pretty clean. So we're gonna put these on there and get to put the whole flag together. So now we have to flip this over, which is scary. And hopefully, I think I figured it out which way I gotta flip it. I was gonna flip it like that, but it would not look right whenever you flip it over, I don't think. So I think what I gotta do is flip everything like this. So I think we're good there. Now we're going to have to cut down pieces. One, I think, 3 inches from the edge. We'll have another one 3 inches from the edge, and we'll have one dead center in the middle, hopefully making our flag hold together. And we're actually gonna need wood glue also, just a little bit, not too much because you don't want it to seep through here because that would look ugly. Cut them to size, and hopefully we got ourselves a good backing for our flag. All right, so we don't have another clamp big enough, so I got my dad here to help me to hold the other side down. All right, y'all, moment of truth. sure. Oh, yes, yes. There we go. We're just missing our stars. Just give it a good wipe. I have a little bit of dust on it from the floor than the cardboard. Not a little too bad. All the union is lined up pretty well, and my whites are basically the same tone. Looks pretty good. Now it's time to do the stars and the union. All right, y'all. It's the time, the moment of truth. Our second to last final touches on our flag, the stars. And with these, you can trace each individual one out and carve it with a Dremel or Dremel, however you pronounce it. You can do that. But I'm just gonna spray paint them because I, for one, don't have the patience for a Dremel, and two, I don't know, it just seems kind of difficult to do it. And with this being my first time using a Dremel, I would not want to do it on this and would need a decent amount of practice. I'm gonna shave our spray paint pretty good and get the spray paint our stars on. We're good. I'm gonna let that sit and dry for, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes or so. And we'll come back and hopefully the paint will be good and dry to take the stars off, and hopefully I'm praying that it looks good. So I'll see you guys in 10 minutes or so. All right, so I've now been letting this sit for about 5 to 10 minutes. So now we can slowly start peeling our newspaper and tape back. Slowly. Oh, that wasn't slowly. It looks good though. I'm proud of my creation right here. First time ever doing a woodworking project like this. I'm proud of myself. I think we got everything off that needed to come off. This thing looks freaking good though. And honestly, right here, you can see where the spray paint kind of went off. It's a little flaked right there, but honestly, this looks freaking good. I am proud of this. Genuinely, I am proud of this. We're still not done. I gotta wait for these stars to dry fully 100%. Man, that looks really good in the camera. I'm not gonna lie. And then what we're gonna do to finish it off, once our union dries fully, we're gonna turn her around and burn the back side so it looks clean and has a nice finish on the back. And then we will put a clear finish on the front, so you know so it'll look pretty reflective, just like my cross here. I'll give you guys an example. You can see it's pretty reflective. This is after it is dried. You see the reflective in the light there. Look at this, bro, the dynamic duo. That looks so sick. They look so sick together. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, they look really sick together. So I'm gonna wait for my stars to dry fully. Then we will burn the back, and then we'll put our clear finish on there, and we'll be 100% done. So I'll see you guys then. All right, guys, so we got our flag right here. It's had probably 40 minutes or so to dry. So that is plenty of time. So I'm gonna grab the blowtorch so we can start torching the back. Then we'll apply our clear coat. All right, so we're gonna do the same thing that we did for our boards originally. Let's just kind of go over it lightly, not too heavy, just so it has a nice finished look. All right, well, I'll say that this looks pretty good. The burn looks nice, and our front still looks perfectly fine, as you guys can see here. So we're gonna wipe this off really, really well, and then we'll apply our clear coat, let that dry, and we'll be finished. All right, so now that I've given it a good wipe, we're gonna shake up our clear. This is the clear I'm using right here, in case if any of y'all are wondering. It's just for woodworking stuff and crafts. so I think it'll look pretty good. So let's start applying and see how it ends up looking. All right, so we'll let this dry and then we'll end off the video, and I'm still so proud of this. Seriously, I am. So I'll see you guys when this is all dried. All right, guys, this is the next day. Everything on the flag has completely dried, and the clear made it have a nice reflective look to it. You can see if I point it in the light, you can kind of see some reflections, especially up close. See them right there. Overall, this turned out really good for being my first time making one. And if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace.